Andre Fialho versus Antonio dos Santos Jr. is a welterweight bout. Andre Fialho has hit a record of 10 wins, 3 losses. Antonio dos Santos Jr. has hit a record of 8 wins, 4 losses. Alright, so Andre Fialho is currently 26 years old, and Antonio dos Santos Jr. is currently 32 years old, which means Andre Fialho is going to have a slight age advantage in this fight. Also, Antonio dos Santos Jr. is currently coming down from middleweight to welterweight, as in his last couple of fights, he was actually a middleweight, and currently they are both 5'10", and the reaches are pretty similar. At Andre Fialho has a 74-inch reach, and Antonio dos Santos Jr. has a 72-inch reach. Alright, so the Tapology rankings for this have Fialho as the 82% favorite. Dos Santos is only sitting at 18% of the votes, so 82% of the people go on Fialho, so he's a huge favorite to win this fight. Alright, so Andre Fialho started off his career with 6 straight wins, which got him into Bellator, where he ended up getting 2 first-round KOs in a row over Mandy Miraz and Rick Rieger. But in his next fight against an absolute beast in Chidi Njokuani, who just had a main event in the LFA, he actually ended up getting his first ever loss by first-round KO. After that first loss, he ended up fighting AJ Matthews, who he beat a very close decision and won the fight by split decision. After that close win, he ended up getting a unanimous decision win over Javier Torres, but that's when he ended up leaving Bellator for the PFL, where he actually ended up losing 2 fights in a row by third round at TKO over Chris Curtis and a unanimous decision over Claudio Franca. Alright, so Antonio dos Santos Jr. started off his career pretty okay with 2 straight wins, but in his next fight after that, he ended up getting his first loss by unanimous decision. After that first loss, he came back with a decision win, a second round KO, 2 first round KOs, and at that point, he was actually 6-1, but in his next 3 MMA fights, 2 of which were in the UFC, he ended up losing by second round TKO and first round KO, which got him cut from the promotion, where he ended up going to the TFC, where he ended up losing yet again by unanimous decision. After that loss, he ended up going to Fight On, where he got a third round rear naked choke submission, followed by a first round KO by elbow. Alright, so these 2 fighters are very good. Antonio dos Santos Jr., he did get invited into the UFC. He did get absolutely destroyed once he got there. And even when he left the UFC, he ended up losing 1 more fight there as well. Andre Fialho Jr. is currently on a 2-fight win streak. A lot of people right now think this is his fight to come back against a guy like Antonio dos Santos Jr. A lot of people think he's going to get this win by KO. They think he's going to KO Antonio dos Santos Jr. But that is if Dos Santos Jr. cannot get this fight to the ground. Because Dos Santos Jr., if he gets the fight to the ground, he has pretty good submission skills, so he could go for submissions. He also has very good power as well, but I just think Fialho's striking game is just going to be too much for Dos Santos Jr. to handle, and that leads to my decision. I think Andre Fialho is going to get the win by unanimous decision. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or have something to say, make sure to put the question below, and I'll respect to every show in those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here.